Professional discussion video by Lanuage. Defining language. At the beginning of this course, I saw language as simply a way to communicate ideas and feelings through words or as the language someone speaks, e.g. English or Chinese. Since topic 1, my understanding has shifted. I now view language as a system for meaning making that is shaped by social interaction and culture, not just communication. This change was influenced by the topic 1 lecture and class discussions I had on receptive and productive language. In my notes, I wrote down taking it in versus giving it out, which really helped me understand that language involves both understanding, receptive, and producing, productive meaning. This idea is also supported in the Fellows in Oakley 2024 Chapter 3, Understanding Oral Language, which explains that children learn language through participation in social and cultural contexts. This stood out to me because it made me realize that language is not just about speaking, but about knowing how, when, and why to communicate in different social contexts. This is something that I had not previously considered that much in depth, but now I have after learning about it. The Australian Curriculum version 9 does not define language in a single sentence. Instead, it shows what language is through the structure and aims of the English learning area. In the Learning Task 1.2, I explored how language is represented across the 3 strands: language, literature, and literacy. This helped me understand that language is not just a set of skills like grammar or spelling, but something that changes depending on the purpose and context. The language strand focuses on language as a system. Literature focuses on meaning and text, and literacy focuses on using language in real-world contexts. Together, this shows that language is a flexible, socially embedded tool for meaning-making, not just a fixed set of rules. It also highlights that language is used across all areas of learning, not only in English. This challenged my initial view that language was mainly about technical skills. I now see it as something students actively use to communicate, learn, and participate in socially. In my notes, I wrote, language enables students to communicate, interact, and make meaning in a range of contexts from the lecture, which reinforced this idea. Theories and phases. My current belief is that language development is a complex process shaped by cognitive development, social interaction, and environment, and that no single theory fully explains it on its own. One theory I found really interesting is Jean Piaget cognitive developmental theory. This theory links language and development to thinking skills like memory, attention, and problem solving. In my notes, I wrote the phrase hands-on play and life experience, which stood out to me because it shows that children learn language through active exploration rather than just being told information. This helped shape my belief that play-based and practical learning experiences are really important for language development. I also found the social interactionist theory by Liv Vygotsky and Jerome Bruner really important. This theory focuses on learning through interaction and scaffolding, where adults or peers support children to extend their language. Through Learning Task 2.2, I compared Piaget and Vygotsky. While discussing with peers, we reflected that Piaget focuses on more individual thinking, while Vygotsky highlights the role of social support and language in interaction. This helped me understand that both thinking and social experience work together in language development. I also noticed this in real classroom settings in my childcare, where I, as an educator, use scaffolding, modeling language, and play-based learning to support children's communication and understanding. This has influenced how I think about my own teaching practice and pedagogy. Students with English as an additional language known as EAL students may experience language development differently in 2 key ways. Firstly, they may transfer features from their first language such as grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. This is natural and can shape how their English develops over time. For example, a student may structure sentences based on their home language patterns before fully adjusting to English conventions. Secondly, they often require more explicit teaching, repetition, and supported practice compared to first language learners. Because English is not acquired naturally for them, they need more structured opportunities to use language in meaningful contexts, such as guided group work or scaffolded classroom discussions, to build confidence and fluency. This highlights for me the importance of teachers being patient and intentional in how language is supported in the classroom. Diversity. My understanding of language diversity is that language is not the same for everyone, and people use different languages, dialects, and ways of communicating depending on their cultural, social, and personal backgrounds. From the Topic 3 lecture from Dr. Amy Farndale, I learnt that language is closely connected to culture and identity. In my notes, I wrote that culture includes values, beliefs, and communication styles, and this stood out to me because it shows that language is not just about communication, but also about who people are and how they express themselves. I also learned that even people who speak the same language may use it differently through dialects, which can vary in vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Importantly, no dialect is more correct or more valid than another, which challenged my previous thinking about language being right or wrong. Another key part of language diversity is how students learn English as an additional language. From Topic 3, Readings and Lecture, I learned that these students go through different stages, such as the silent period, then using formulatic speech, before becoming more fluent. This shows that language development is not the same for all learners and needs to be understood in context. Overall, I now understand language diversity as something that reflects culture, identity, and different learning experiences, and something that should be valued in the classroom. Culturally responsive pedagogy is an approach to teaching that values students' cultural backgrounds and connects learning to their life worlds. It also involves high expectations, student voice, and meaningful inclusive learning experiences. In the case study of Anna's Curiosity Project, I connected strongly with how students were given choice, voice, and opportunities to link learning to their personal interests and cultural backgrounds. For example, students were able to choose topics and present their learning in different ways, which increased engagement and confidence. I personally connected with the idea of scaffolding and connecting learning to students' real-life worlds, because I have seen in childcare that children respond more confidently when learning is meaningful and linked to their own experiences. This shapes my understanding of how teachers can support students with English as an additional language, because it shows that language learning is not just about teaching English directly, but about creating inclusive environments where students can draw on their home language, culture, and prior knowledge to support learning. Sounds of learning. Phonological awareness is the ability to recognize and work with sounds in spoken language, such as rhymes, syllables, and individual sounds, without linking them to letters. I made this umbrella diagram with phonological awareness at the top of the umbrella and phonemic awareness underneath as rain. This helped me understand that phonemic awareness is a smaller part focusing on individual sounds. Phonemic awareness is more specific as it involves identifying and manipulating phonemes. This is important because phonological awareness develops first, while phonemic awareness more directly supports reading and spelling. This diagram from Gillen's reading shows that phonological awareness is structured in levels, starting with larger sound units like words and syllables and moving down to smaller units like onset and rhyme and individual phonemes. Onset and rhyme refer to the structure of a syllable. The onset is the initial consonant sound, and the rhyme is the vowel and any other following sounds. For example, cat, k, at, train, ain, play, play. Syllables are like the beats or chunks in a word. I think clapping or putting your hand under your jaw are the most effective ways to practice syllables. I'll show you how to do both. For example, banana, na, na. That has 3 syllables. Or train, one syllable. Or bottle, this is where you put your hand under your jaw. Every time your jaw lowers, you count that as a syllable when you say the word. So this one, for example, is bottle, 2 syllables. Rhyme refers to words that have the same ending sound. For example, cat, hat, bat, all end with at. Train, rain, pain, all end with ian. And ship, tip, and lip all end with ip. Recognizing rhyme helps children hear patterns in language which support reading development. Alliteration is when words start with the same initial sound. For example, big blue balloon, all start with B. Silly snake slides slowly, all start with S. Peter picked peppers, all start with P. In class, we also explored this throughout playful language activities, which helped make sound patterns more noticeable. Now let's practice. How many phonemes? Train. T-r-a-n. 4. Ship. Sh-it-p. 3. Bottle. B-o-t-l. 4. In class, we also practiced this using sound boxes, shown in the slide below, which helped us hear each sound separately and understand how words are constructed and to hear their phonemes. Phonics. Phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, and phonics are related but different. Phonological awareness is the broadest concept. It refers to recognizing and working with sound patterns in spoken language, like syllables, rhyme, and alliteration. Phonemic awareness is more specific. It focuses on individual phonemes, which are the smallest sounds in words. For example, cat can be broken into k, a, t. Phonics is different because it connects sounds to written letters. It involves understanding how phonemes link to graphemes to support reading and spelling. A long vowel is a vowel sound that is pronounced the same way as the letter's name in the alphabet. Unlike short vowels, long vowels are held for a longer duration and often occur in words with the silent E. In this instance, cake, the long vowel is A. K, A, k, because A is the long sound. K, A, k. On the other hand, a short vowel is when the vowel makes a shorter sound, like the A in cat. Cat. A consonant cluster is when two or more consonants are together, but each sound is still heard, like st in stop, because S and T are both heard. Stop. A digraph is when two letters make one sound, for example, sh in ship and ain in rain. A diphthong is when two vowel sounds glide together, like oi in coin and ow in out. Throughout Topic 5, particularly while reading Fellows and Oakley 2024 Chapter 12, Graphonic Knowledge and Word Identification, I understood that phonics teaching should be clear and structured, with sound-letter relationships introduced in a logical order. This is effective because it helps students build on prior knowledge and improves their ability to read and spell accurately. Blending and segmenting is another key approach. Blending helps students read by putting sounds together, while segmenting helps with spelling by breaking words into sounds. Using sound boxes in class made this connection clear. This is effective because it strengthens both phonemic awareness and decoding skills. A third approach is multisensory learning, where students use visual, auditory, and hands-on strategies, such as making words or their names, which I did in class, with Play-Doh, shown on the screen. This is effective because it reinforces learning in different ways and supports a range of learners. Grammar and vocabulary. To know a word means more than just recognizing it. It involves understanding its meaning, pronunciation, spelling, and how it is used in context, including knowing that some words can have multiple meanings. This idea was highlighted in the Topic 6 lecture, where vocabulary knowledge was described as deeper than just recognizing words. For example, a word that I know is analyze. I understand its meaning as examining something closely. I know how to pronounce it, analyze, and I know how to spell it. And I can use it correctly in a sentence, such as, I am about to analyze the data. This shows that knowing a word means being able to use it accurately and flexibly across different contexts. Teachers can decide which words to teach explicitly by using the 3 tiers of vocabulary introduced in Topic 6. This was also supported in the course readings, including Fellows and Oakley, and the lecture by Dr. Amy Farndale, which emphasized selecting useful and meaningful words for instruction. Tier 1 words are everyday words. Tier 2 words are high-utility academic words used across subjects. And Tier 3 words are subject-specific terms. Teachers often prioritize Tier 2 words because they support learning across multiple curriculum areas. They also consider factors such as usefulness, relevance to students' prior knowledge, and the need for repeated exposure to support understanding. Grammar is a system of rules that organizes words to create meaning and support clear communication. It helps students understand how language works in both reading and writing. Key features of traditional grammar includes noun, verbs, and adjectives. A noun names a person, place, or thing. A verb shows action, and an adjective describes a noun. In my sentence here shown on the screen, the small dog ran quickly to the park. Dog and park are nouns, ran is the verb, small is an adjective, and quickly is the adverb. Thank you for listening.